everyone, today I'm just going to do an eyebrow tutorial for you guys for thicker eyebrows. These are my natural eyebrows and I've been wanting to film this forever, but something always comes up and I don't have time to film and I have to like groom my eyebrows. This is also going to be a review on the Forever 21 Love and Beauty eyebrow palette, because I'm going to be using a brow wax and powder to do that. So I'm just going to get started with the review. Here is the Forever 21 palette. It's called the Perfect Brow Kit by Love and Beauty, which is the Forever 21 line. And this is in brunette. On the barcode it says dark brown, so if there's a light brown one and a dark brown one. And it contains the styling wax, a cream highlighter, and 2 powders, and this is what it looks like. It also has directions on the top. It says to outline your brows with the powder, set your brow with conditioning wax, and then finish with a cream highlighter. This was $4.80 if I didn't mention that already. It came with a dual-ended applicator. It had a sponge tip and an angled part, but I don't know where that is right now. I found it, but it's so small that I lost it again. So the brow wax is very good. The highlighter is okay. It's not very creamy, but I have used it and it's not that pigmented, so it doesn't really make a difference. So you can just use any highlighter you like. A medium brown shade and a dark brown shade, and I haven't used it for this, but you may use this for your crease and stuff like that. The powders themselves are hard. They're very pigmented, but they're like not that soft. They're hard. They're hard enough to be eyebrow powders, because you don't want like very soft powders to be in your brows. This is like actual eyebrow powder, if that's making any sense. All in all, I love this palette. I really recommend it because a girl named Bria Paris won or something like that. She asked for a review on this a long time ago, but I never gave it to her. And you can still find this at Forever 21, I think, because my Forever 21 got a lot of these, so they may still be available. It really just depends on if it's still there or not, but this is a really great product for $5. Okay, so let's get started with the tutorial. This part is kind of hard to explain. Each person has their own preference to what their eyebrows are going to look like. I'm just going to explain to you how my eyebrows are. Right now my eyebrows, well, in general, my eyebrows at this end right here, they stick up like this, and then they start to go sideways, and then I have a natural arch right here. So generally what I like to do is have them start right here, and then have them end like by the corner of my eye. If I go like this to the corner of my eye, that's where my end is going to meet, and if I go like this up by my inner tear duct, that's where they're going to start. And I've already trimmed my eyebrows for the most part, but I can do a little bit right now. Just like to trim the area. And then both my eyebrows are uneven. This one is higher than this one, so what I like to do is take hairs from the bottom, like slowly take hairs from the bottom until they start to match up a little bit and have like the thickness that I want, because my eyebrows, they're pretty thick enough as it is. I just want to fill them in the empty spots. So the next thing I do is I take this right here is the eyebrow shaver for the top. I got this at Target, and what I do with this is for the little hairs that you don't feel like plucking, well, you shouldn't really pluck up the top, but you go in a direction of the hair, or you shave downward so that you can get that little line. So I'm just gonna shave off like this to get that defined line, and up here I'm gonna shave that so it can get that's the final. So I'm trying to make this right here my arch. You know? Okay, I kind of forgot about this little tool right here. But I guess I can talk about it really. I can talk about it quickly. Whenever I'm trimming, because my eyebrows grow upward, you know, you just groom through it. You know, with a spoolie. I got this with my 120 Pro palette, and I just take like a scissor for pedicures and stuff like that, but I don't for cutting cuticles, but I don't use it for that. I just use it to trim, and I just trim the top so I can get the desired thickness of my eyebrow. And you can just find like spoolies and stuff at wherever you see beauty supplies. They sell disposables, because it's not very necessary that you buy one with a brush. I just got one for free, so you just do all that. Then we're gonna take a brush, an angled brush that you don't care about, because this is going to have the wax on it. I like to put the wax on first instead of after, because I like to have it for a base. A lot of people use it on top, but I'm just gonna take the wax and load up a little bit, not too much, because you don't want your eyebrows to be really shiny. And then what I like to do is take some, start right here and go sideways, and then brush it onto my brow to get all the hairs in place and for my primer, and just work that through. So you're starting to see like a more defined brow, or a more groomed brow. Next we're going to take a synthetic angled brush, and this one's more higher in quality. This is a Sigma 266, I believe. And what we're going to do with that is we're just going to load the brush with the shadow. And since this one is really harsh when used alone, I'm just going to load up the brush about 4 times with the light. And then dab a little bit in the dark, and dab more in the light, and dab in the dark. Okay, and then we're just going to fill in the brows. I'm not going to like make a squared end. I'm going to try to make it rounder. And then instead of going in the direction of the hair upward, I'm going to start going horizontally in the direction I want my brows to go in. And it's just going to fill it up like right away. Just want to start outlining it, and then fill it in. I put this on first because it's really hard to fill in thick eyebrows with a powder, because you can't reach the skin. So the wax will make it easier to stick to the eyebrows. And we're gonna just start filling in the tail. I'm starting at the highest part of my arch, and just work it down to just define that arch. And then just work a little bit of that down in the tail. So if you feel like you filled in your brows a little bit too dark, you can just go in with your spoolie again, or you can powder your brows with a face powder. I just like to use a spoolie. It gets everything nice and blended out. So I'm just going to run that through my brow like that, in the direction that the hairs are going, and then just go through the tail. If you can see the difference between this eyebrow and this one looks a lot better and more natural. You can go around the eyebrows with concealer, but I just choose not to, just because I feel like the way that I do my eyebrows, I have enough room to where like I don't need to go over it. Like the way my eyebrows are so thick, it has enough hairs to make its own eyebrow, so I don't really have to define it, you know. And the more defined they look, the more fake they look. So I just think these eyebrows are really natural for me, because I've had thick eyebrows all my life. For real, I know there's like a million brow tutorials, but there's not really that many tutorials specifically on thick eyebrows. They're all on thin little eyebrows, people with no eyebrows, and that's how you draw them. But I guess that's more skill. But yeah. If you can get your hands on this, I really recommend it. And yeah, but I like it better than pencil, because pencils you have to have like the line sharps sharp to make hair-like things, but this one I just like to fill it in with powder and blend it out with a spoolie, and that's all I do. So yeah, thanks for watching my video. Until next time, guys, bye.